Thanks for doing this. How weird are the lines right now? Tortorella was saying earlier that he's really scrambled at the center position. You've been in there. Other guys have taken a twirl in there. How hard is it to find any sort of traction when that position in particular is so interchangeable or so chaotic?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously like to have some cohesiveness with your lines, but that goes with playing well too. So I think we need to obviously get better as a group here and allowing our lines to stay the same. You know, there's been some games where we played well, and then there's been some inconsistencies. So I think, you know, as much as Torch likes to jumble his lines, I mean, we're trying to find the pairs that are going to play the way that we need to play as a group. So until we can get that going, we're going to have to understand that there's going to be some moving and shaking, and that's also just the way it is with this many guys we're carrying too. I mean, he's trying to get different looks, and we're still trying to figure out guys where they're playing together. And but the sooner we can shore that up as players, I think it's going to give Torch the confidence to just keep them together.
We often think about lines and centermen just in terms of what it looks like offensively, in terms of how they communicate. But how important specifically is the center iceman in terms of getting the puck out of your own zone, in terms of being there as an option for the defenseman to not just go D to D, but be able to move it up without just flipping it out of the zone? Is that specifically important for the centerman to be?
Absolutely. Some of the best centers I played with are guys that make that first pass so easy, and then all of a sudden now you have some time and space to make a play as a winger. So playing on both sides of it, I know how crucial it is to break out of your end zone well. And that has a lot to do, unfortunately, with your centerman, just with the way they're in position to receive that puck or allow that D to have time and space. So it is a position that's coveted, obviously, by every team. You know, when you're strong down the center ice, your team's usually a pretty good team, and you know, we're just trying to find the right mix or where everyone goes. And you know, we have a lot of great centermen on this team. It's just trying to figure out you know, how we can get everyone playing that way that we're so accustomed to playing. And as soon as we start doing that, I think we're going to be, you know, a lot more dangerous and consistent of a team.
One more for you. I don't know how much you knew about him. I think you've done some summer skates with Jack Roslovic, but how much has he opened your eyes, or what have you seen from him in his few games here?
Yeah, I mean, he just skates so well, and you know, obviously thinks the game really well too, and you know, has you know, run with the opportunity he's getting right now. I mean, he's a guy that has some skill, and you could see it in the summer skates, and I'm thrilled for him. You know, especially come back to his hometown and have the success that he's having. I think he realizes the opportunity he has in front of him. He's a great guy, and you know, we're enjoying having him on this team. I think he brings an attitude to the rink every day. He's kind of a happy-go-lucky guy, and he makes you laugh. And so it's great to see that things are going well for him. And you know, I think he has the mindset and the work ethic to have that continue. So we're excited about what he's brought to this team.
Thanks, Nick.
Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Hedge.
Hey, Nick. You know, you guys are a team that, you know, when things aren't going right, you'll have meetings just like any other team. The NHL recently just kind of put some new guidelines in, I think, about you having meetings on Zoom and things like that. Are you guys starting to do that? And if so, is that a little bit more of a challenge than having the meeting maybe in person?
Yeah, I mean, maybe just the coaches can go longer on Zoom. You know, we can't really exit them off as well as we'd like, maybe. No, but honestly, I don't really concern myself too much with the league's going to do whatever they feel is necessary to help us play the season and to keep us safe. And you know, there's going to be some inconveniences, but that's what they are. They're just inconveniences. They're not changing our lives. You know, you can get caught up in all the routine, but this whole year has been out of routine. So I don't really get too concerned about all these new protocols. I mean, we're lucky to play the game. And I think if you approach it that way, all that stuff really doesn't matter. I mean, ultimately, this is to keep us safe, to keep our families safe, and to get us to be on the ice and play the games in front of our fans on TV and hopefully back in the arenas soon. So if we want all that to happen, you just got to deal with it and know that, you know, these Zoom meetings that we might have are the new normal, and you go with it. And I mean, I don't think anyone knew what Zoom was in 2019, and now we all are pros on the thing. So, you know, it's the way of the world now, and we just have to roll with it like our team can. And it's a mindset, just, you know, worry about the things you can control. And that's what we do on the ice.
Was it weird not having the glass behind you?
That was kind of funny just to look back and you envision some fans back there and what would have been like in the old days. But I'm almost certain, I think Maple Leaf Gardens, I'm sure in a few other places, but when I was a kid, I remember Maple Leaf Gardens, the fans used to sit right there at the bench. So that was pretty funny to go back to when I was a kid and seeing that again.
Last thing I have for you is league hasn't said anything about this yet, but obviously when you look back to the summer and they're trying to decide, who was going to get in, who wasn't, that kind of thing. They started talking a little bit about point percentage of your games that you played. Is that do you guys kind of concern yourselves with that at all at this point now? Because there's so many teams that are having games canceled. You guys have gotten lucky, knock on wood, that you haven't missed any games. You know what I mean? Have you guys paid attention to point percentage potentially?
Well, it could come down to that, but you hope obviously there's an extended format or something to allow it to be fair for everybody. But, again, something we can't control. All we can control is win as many hockey games as possible. So we're in a position to not have to worry about point percentages, So that's, however many games is still, we get a lot of cracks at winning hockey games. And that's just something we have to focus on. And the good news is the position we're sitting in and not playing really our best hockey, that gives me, some hope of what's to come here and how good of a team we can become when we start firing all cylinders. And it has to be soon. I mean, there's no waiting for it. And I think we had a really good practice today, and our mindset after a big win against a good team is excited to have a challenge against a really good team coming up here in Carolina. So just continue to try to win games, and we'll worry about that down the road.
Next, we'll go to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Todd.
Hey, bud. Also, that one was for you the other day, just so you know. We're thinking of you, man. Praying for you.
That. Thank you. A thing that Torts has said to us a couple of times recently is that this team just hasn't been hard enough to play against yet. Just how do you get back to that? I know it's something you pride yourself on as a team and you as an individual. Just what's kind of the missing ingredient there that has to be found?
Well, I think you said it. I think, you have to lead the way, myself. And but guys have to understand what makes us successful, what we're made of as a group. We're not, we have some skill. Absolutely. Bringing in Patty Laine and some of the guys that we have. Absolutely. But we're a straight line, hard forward checking team first. And then our skill comes off of that. And I think that's where all this talk, about trying to get goals, and maybe it's clouded our understanding of who we are a little bit. And we have to get back to that. That's the recipe. That's the way we play. Our brand of hockey is straight, hard-nosed, in your face, down in the corners. And all of a sudden we're making plays out of that. And they look, just as nice as any highlight reel play that we're going to see. And then we're scoring goals. So, I thought that's the mindset. And then a couple times in the games here, we've had those and scored some nice goals or made some really good plays and made things happen. And, but too often we're trying to, skill our way around the ice. I hate using that phrase, but it's kind of the best way to describe it. And I think if we get harder in all those aspects, whether it's on the offensive side or even on the defensive side, we talked today about just our play, going to pucks and creating turnovers and allowing our game to kind of come to life from there. I think that'll create so much more offense for us and so much more energy and that hardness that we talk about. So, it's a work in progress. I think some guys that have come in have had to understand that and now, but it's 12 games in now. It's this is who we are and this is how we're going to have success. And we got to find that mindset every game.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Next, we'll go back to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Porty. Nope. All right, let's go to Clay Hall. Go ahead, Clay.
Yeah, Nick, you were talking about, the team is taking steps to get fans in the building. They're trying just to have a percentage, just to have a small football has. I mean, there's going to be fans at the Super Bowl. What kind of juice would that give you just to have a heartbeat in the building?
Yeah, I mean, we got to we're pros. We got to find a way, obviously, until that point. But there's no doubt we love our fans being in the rink. We love having someone to play in front of. You get to this point of your career, this mecca of hockey, and to play in front of fans. That's what you dream about as a kid. So, you go through all the minor hockey league games of having your parents cheer for you or some friends. But to get to this point where you got 18,000 plus cheering you on or booing you is what you dream about. So absolutely there's no doubt how important fans play a role in our season and who we are as athletes. So we really look forward to the day where we can get back to playing in front of them. But until then, again, it's something we can't control. and we have to find a way to manufacture our own energy. The good teams do. You know, when you play the right way and you do the things necessary to win, it's amazing how your energy just comes naturally. So that's something that that we can fix and continue to work on as we go along here until that point is when the fans start coming back in the building. But absolutely can't wait for that moment.
But there is, I mean, are you hearing anything encouraging from inside there about when that might be?
No, honestly, I haven't heard a thing. I mean, we
Yeah.
heard that, you know, there's other teams that are obviously going about it. I don't know if our team has put in something to the city or the state to try to get something going, but that's all, I'm sure, just preliminary stuff to see what it would take. But trust me, we can't wait. I'm sure the fans are anxious to get back, whoever is comfortable with it. But, you know, and also, I guess, too, in a way, if we can get fans back, it's a sign of progress, too, which I think everyone would really be excited about, you know, that we're starting to work our way back to a more normal situation. But until then, we're just going to worry about winning hockey games and empty rinks and having our fans cheer us on at home.
Next, go back to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Hedge.
Yeah. In the last year or so, both your top two goalies have really come a long way as far as, you know, confidence and everything. Are you guys at a point? It looks like Corpy may have to play, you know, more often than not here. We don't know when Elvis coming back. Are you guys at a point now in comfort in front of him that you were at with Bob? I mean, I know Bob was here.
Yeah.
He won 2 Vezinas and all that, but you guys are comfortable just the same.
Yeah. I mean, that was even last year. Those guys, I mean, we got an all-star and a rookie of the year candidate on our team. So goaltending has never been an issue for us. Even before, you know, I know Torts was nervous, but man, I've watched Corpy every single year come in and do his job and play the way he needs to and behind a really good goaltender. And just what an incredible teammate he is, first of all, to watch him mature as a guy. And I love him. I mean, I'm so thrilled for his opportunity now. And Elvis has come in and been as advertised, and they've been electrifying. They've been, you know, they've stabilized, you know, our team in a lot of ways. So, man, from the moment that those guys got rolling, we've felt so comfortable with them in net, and they've proven it night in, night out. I mean, Corpy was fantastic for us the other night, and they've been that way as we've gone along here and have been a big part of our success.
Does it feel like Corpy has? I mean, he runs a little hot sometimes. Obviously, when he's in there, remember we saw that. Yeah, I mean, remember we saw that last year, and it was a little bit of an issue. But does it feel like he has poured that part of his game, that intensity, into the right places now?
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think you ever want a guy like him to lose that, because that's what makes him Corpy, and that's what makes him an all-star and a great goaltender. And you know, but I think he's understood the needs and demands of a number one goalie and a guy who's going to be counted on night in. So, you know, he's obviously learning, and like we all are. I mean, we're all progressing and getting better every year. And he's another one of those guys. The more he plays, the more pressure games he plays in, he just becomes better. So he's a guy that's just, you know, every year just improves, and the guys love him, and both our goalies. I mean, we really are lucky to have those two in that.